Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Verblingites. My name is Holly, and today we are going to discuss and learn vocabulary related to longevity. How long will you live? And what does the research say about how long you will live? So that is pretty much what we will be doing. Um, we will actually go through vocabulary activities, and then we will read an article, and we will look. I'll let each one of you read one or two of the paragraphs, depending on how many people are there, to practice pronunciation and then comprehension. We'll look at different phrases. We'll also start to speculate and decide and try to talk as much as possible. That is the plan for today. So, again, my name is Holly, and I will be your English teacher today. And the topic today is on longevity. How long will people live? How long will you live? Um, so, that is the topic today. So, on longevity. Will you live long or will you live short? Is your lifestyle conducive to living long, or will you have a shorter lifestyle? So that is what we will be going through today, is longevity. So a little bit about myself. I've been teaching English since 1994 and started teaching online in 2006. So that is the plan today, is to go over longevity. So the topic today will be longevity, and what that is about. What that is the number, how long a person will live. And so we will read an article, and we will also go through some vocabulary activities and discuss the words and decide which ones, and you will practice using the words. So that is the plan for today, is we will go over, read an article and practice pronunciation and look at the words. Real quick, the topic is longevity, which means how long will you live? How long will you live? So that is the plan for today. We'll look at some vocabulary words. We will read an article and find information. And the article should be very interesting, about how to live to 114 in theory. So that is the article. And we'll look at phrases, and then we'll start practice explaining and speculating. And then we'll also have a talking point. So that is the plan for today. My name is Holly, and I've been teaching English since '94. Hello, Ismail. How are you today?
Hello, Holly. I am doing well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I'm slowly getting over my cold, but my voice is better. So I think
Yes.
so. So what time is it right now in Turkey?
It is about 10 a.m. in
Okay.
Turkey.
Okay. 10 a.m. That's not really all that early. So, good. Good. All right. And I quickly jumped into the class beforehand, and you were practicing tongue twisters.
Yes.
Do you enjoy that?
Yes, it was difficult a little for me,
Uh-huh.
but we should change our mouth
Uh-huh.
maybe
Yeah. Did,
because of the own language. We pronounce differently.
uh-huh.
Actually, it seems to me like I pronounce correctly, but not.
Yeah. And I think and it's interesting that like so for example if a native speaker of English a teacher is living in a different culture, they get used to that English. They get used to the
After
pronunciations, and they no longer hear the problems that culture has because they're so used to it. And that's why this type of environment is so good, because you have people that are not actually used to for example, your accent is a Turkish accent, and so you
yes,
have people that are not used to the Turkish accent and so forth. So that's good. Yeah, I find tongue twisters quite challenging myself. There's some that I can um, use, and some I cannot. Hi, Tatiana. How are you?
Fine, thanks for asking. And how are you?
Pretty good. I'm almost done, almost over my cold. I think a couple more days and I'll
Oh,
be
really?
completely. Did you hear me
Take a
this?
rest.
Yeah, I
Take a
will.
rest.
I will. Uh, After this class, I don't teach
Drink
it
hot
probably
milk.
for
Drink
16 hours.
hot
So
milk.
yeah.
It's
So
it's better for you, hot milk
uh,
with a little teaspoon, half of teaspoon carbonate, soda
uh-huh.
carbonate,
Uh-huh.
and butter, a little bit butter, uh, and honey,
Uh-huh.
stir and drink. It's very good for your throat.
Yeah. And then tea with honey is very good as well.
Yes,
So,
but carbonate soft your throat,
uh-huh.
makes soft. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Um,
Or drink a fresh egg. Yeah, singers do this.
yeah. Well, this weekend, I think I taught 5 classes in one day, and by the last class, the voice was just like almost gone. So, um, but anyway, today we're going to actually go through a reading exercise on longevity. And do you guys know what longevity is? Any idea?
long touring, long life.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Ismail. It's a long life. So, longevity is how basically. Well, you can use the word when it comes to longevity of a job. So, if you've spent most of your life in the same job, you've got some longevity at that job. But also, longevity has to do with a long life. And how old do you guys want to live to? Have you thought about it?
Interesting question.
Yeah.
I want to live long, 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 but I don't know because according to the God,
Uh-huh.
I don't know really, but I want to live because now I have a lot of plans. I think that my new life starts from now.
Oh,
And
okay.
yes, I have a lot of dreams, and for all these my dreams, I need maybe more time, maybe till 120 years. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I've heard some speakers self-improvement course
Uh-huh.
says that you need to make goals for a long, long period of time,
Uh-huh.
and that helps you during your life. Maybe half of your dreams will come true, and you'll never have any depression in your life, and you will be young and healthy and full of energy and just like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and well, I've heard also pets keep people living longer too. If you have a dog or a cat, a person will live longer just because they want to outlive their dog or their cat. So, um, Ismail, have you thought about how long you want to live?
No, actually, Holly, we have a short life expectancy
Uh-huh.
at my family.
Uh-huh.
Generally, we have a medium 60 years old, 60 years.
Uh-huh.
I think it is a little short. I want to live more than 60
Yeah.
actually, and I have a small child,
Uh-huh.
and I want to see that he can stand on your feet.
Uh-huh. You want to see him grow up. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and be independent, stand on his feet. Yeah. Um, in your family, the average life expectancy for the men have been 60 years old?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Generally, my granddad, dad, uh, died at 50, 60 years
Uh-huh.
of
Okay.
age.
And in my family, for the oldest son, for my father and his father and so forth, it's been 65 or 66. Except for my grandfather. And every year that he turned 65, then 66, 67, he said he was going to die that year. And he lived till he was 82. But my father did die when he was 66. And so it just kind of skipped a generation. So I hope my brother I hope my brother makes it past 66. So yeah.
Actually,
So
it is connected with the life expectancy. It is connected with the genes or with the family story,
yeah.
actually. Only.
Yeah, exactly. And well, like for example, in my family, um, heart disease is a huge issue.
Common?
And my dad had it. My grandfather did not. But my dad's mother, she was from a family of 12 children.
Oh,
9 of the 12 children died died of heart disease as adults, of course, when they were 70, 80 years old. But they died of heart disease. 2 of them died before they were 20. And then one just recently passed away from old age, and she was the youngest daughter. But so they had 9 of those people when they were older. They had heart disease. So in my family, that's a big thing. High blood pressure and things like that. So anyway, let's look at this first question here. Tatiana, what do you think is important for a long, healthy life? Let's just go ahead and brainstorm.
For a long, healthy life, of course, it's very, very important health. If you are healthy and you keep in good form, you maybe you have chance to live long life. And of course, as I said, according the God, Allah. And because if you are a believer, you think that everything in His hands. And of course, another part, but there is a proverb in Russian language. I don't know how to translate it in English, but I try. They say that if man or person save himself, the God helps him.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about that. When do you say the God, and when do you say God in English?
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. I all the time use the article.
Yeah. So and it really has to do with what your religion is. Muslims and Christians and Jews, we all believe in one God. So we would actually never use the article. But if you're a Buddhist or a type of a religion that believes in more than one God, then of course using the article is fine. But as a general rule, we do not use an article with God. So so it's in Islam, isn't it as God wills? And I think in English, I can't remember what the saying is.
Allah.
Yeah, Allah. But I think I've had some of my Islamic students say as God wills. I'll do my homework as God wills, if God wills. Okay, so
as God wills, this we need to use. I need to write down.
Yeah, this is what I've heard, as God wills.
Yes, and the second part, I think that the third part, it's very important to live without stress. To do more meditation, relaxations, and try not to be nervous. Yes.
I taught a class last weekend about that if you live a stress-free life, there was an article, it was an article reading again, that if you live a stress-free life, you probably will die sooner.
Yes.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So
but it's true, it's true. It's true because stressful people who under the stress all the time, nervous, and there is maybe blood pressure, high blood pressure. It's very dangerous, I think. And of course, it's very, very important, as I say, I'm not saying, a healthy food. Yes, healthy food. Because you need to eat a lot of vegetables, fruits, not fat meat, nuts, beans, and suit product. Suit. Suit is a Turkish word.
I don't know that word.
Milk product.
A lot of milk.
Yeah, a lot of milk products, and
we would say dairy.
To sleep more. No, not more, but sometimes nowadays there is a laptop. I know that, for example, for me, I use laptop very much, and I sleep sometimes 5 or 6 hours, but it isn't enough. I need to sleep 6, 7, or 8 hours because it's very important. And of course, not smoking. you need to stop smoking because scientist says that who smokes his life is limit maybe 7 or 10 years. And of course you need to make physical activity. Physical activity is very important. You need to spend more time on open air, jogging, or maybe just walking a lot. And of course, it needs to be socialized, not be alone, and be in a good mood. To be in a good mood helps you, of course, to be socialized. And some people drink alcohol, but if you stop to drink alcohol, it would be bad for you. But if you drink very, very little, it's maybe not bad for you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
And of course, just a moment. And of course, you need to dream. You need to learn to self-improvement. Yes.
Self-improvement. Yeah, self-improvement. Okay.
Not to forget about your relatives, friends, and be grateful for what you have.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. And Ismail, do you have anything to add?
Yes, Holly. We have a small city in Turkey. People who are living there have a long life. There is no technology or high industrialization level there. Holly. People are farming and they are eating their farm, and actually they have not so high health service because they are simple farmer, but their life expectancy is between 90 and 100 years old. Yes. They only eat what they produce at their own soil, and actually they live in a simple life.
Yeah. That's really great. I had not heard about this city before.
Ismail, what's this name of this place?
Aydın Nazilli.
Aydın Nazilli?
Nazilli, yes.
Oh. Aydın, I've heard about it, Aydın. It's near the Mersin.
Yeah.
Not Mersin.
Huh?
Not Mersin, Denizli, Afyon, between Denizli, Afyon.
I see. When we go to Mersin, this place, I've heard this city. But maybe it's not city, it's a town.
Yes, it's a town, Nazilli.
I find it amazing that they are only eating what they actually grow or what they produce. And so do they have also cows and pigs and things like that as well?
Yes, what is?
I think that's that's in English. We say that they are self-sustained. They have a self-sustained lifestyle.
Maybe they don't use herbicides or fertilizer, artificial thing.
Wow.
They are farming with traditional methods.
Wow. I think we have a lot to learn from them. And the other thing that they do is they live off the grid. Have you guys been to my class when I've talked about living off the grid?
Without technology?
Yes, basically. So right
Not
now,
a modern life.
Yeah, right now we can all we are since we are all online, we're all on the internet. Our governments can find us, right? Because we are
Yes.
on the grid. But if you live off the grid, you cannot be found. You still can be found possibly, but you cannot be found easily. So yeah, that's amazing. Okay, what do you think? We've made kind of a list here. Do you have anything else to add
Okay.
for
Please.
living a long, healthy life?
Yeah, kind of healthy eating habits
Uh-huh.
and mild climate or mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good mood.
and some people has a gene for live longer actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes people are genetically predisposed to. I'm actually okay. Ismail and I were talking about that because his family's like the men in his family, their life expectancy is 60, and in my family, the life expectancy is 65. And some people, don't die that early, but a lot of people do in our families. So it is a genetic predisposition. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at the vocabulary on here. I'm gonna write this down. Genetic predisposition. You guys don't know that word. Okay, let's look at these. Match the words on the left with their definitions on the right. Okay, so, okay, can you match longevity with the definition?
How long you are like?
Okay.
Who answered?
I would ask. Okay, but you can, Tatiana, since you had started.
Okay, longevity. How long you are likely to live?
Perfect. Okay, and then Ismail, how about number 2, premature?
Premature. Happening too soon.
Yes. And then life expectancy. Okay.
I think it's D.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It is D. What would longevity be?
But living for a long time. E, maybe.
It's E. Yeah, it's E. Living for a long time. Yeah. Well, but longevity also could be how long you are likely to live. They're very, very close. So, overweight. What is that
Extremely
one?
fat. Extremely fat?
No.
No, obese. Oh, yes.
Obese is extremely fat. So, what one is overweight?
Maybe extremely fat.
Nope.
Having more body weight than normal.
Having more body weight than normal.
Yeah, so and obesity is extremely fat, where overweight is just having more weight than normal. Overweight is the polite thing to say, even if a person is obese.
Obese,
Yeah, even if a person is obese, you don't actually say, oh, you are obese or you are fat. You might say, yeah, there's an overweight problem in your family, but overweight is the polite word for all of them. So, well-being. Which one is that?
State of feeling happy and healthy.
Yes. And neighborhood.
G.
The area of the town or city where you live.
Yes. And then wealthy.
Of course, rich.
Wealthy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think wealthy has anything to do with living a long and healthy life. So, okay, what we're going to do is, it says complete the average number of years that each of the following lifestyles and behaviors add to a person's life expectancy according to the research in the article, and then write down the reasons given. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the article and see if we can find the answers to these. For example, they gave the example that if you eat chocolate, especially dark chocolate, it will add 1 year to your life. So we're gonna decide which one of these will increase your likelihood to live a long life. Okay, so we'll do that by reading How to Live to 114 in theory. Doctors now tell us which habits may extend our lives and just how much extra time they will give us. Okay, so what I want.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, this is I mean, it's a very interesting article, and it was in 2008, so I'm sure that it's been redone, this research. But why don't we start? Each person will read a paragraph. We'll stop, and if there's any pronunciation issues that I hear, I will tell you what the correct pronunciation is in either British or American English, and I will only, and it's only if I know British. I might not know the British pronunciation. Pardon me. And then we will decide if there's any words that you don't know. I'm going to have you guys read in order to save my voice. So number one, Tatiana, can you read number one? And do you need me to increase it, or is it fine?
No, fine.
It's fine. Okay.
New research shows exactly how many years longer people can live by adopting healthy behaviors, from stopping smoking and losing weight to eating less meat and being positive. Oh, it's according to me. I stop eat meat.
Are you? Okay, and remember behaviors. When you stress the last part of the word as well. So behaviors.
Behaviors.
Perfect. Okay. Number two, Ismail, could you read that? Or first of all, before that, do you guys understand all the words?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Number two.
Studies have suggested that dark chocolate is good for the heart and may boost longevity. Research based on Harvard graduates showed that people who eat chocolate lived a year or so longer than those who don't. Those who ate 1 to 3 bars a month came out best with a 36% lower risk of premature death. Antioxidants, especially in dark chocolate, may be responsible.
Excellent, thank you. And it's actually, we pronounce the in premature, we say premature. So
Premature.
Premature death, okay. My problem with this, personally, is I don't like dark chocolate. I like milk chocolate or white chocolate.
There are too much sugar in milk chocolate, Holly.
Yeah, I think so, but that's what I like. Because I've heard that dark chocolate is actually quite healthy for people. So, are there any words in here that you guys do not know? Okay, let's go to the next one. And okay, could you read number three?
Yeah. Diet with low level of meat and vegetarian diet have
Okay,
been...
could you read that again? And pronounce the S's at the end of the words.
A diet with low level of meat...
Levels
of meat and vegetarian diet have been linked to lower risk of premature death. A view of research by public health specialists at Loma Linda University in America looked at the life expectancy of those who rarely ate meat and found that sticking to such diet added 3.6 years to a person's life. The health effect may be due to lower saturated fat intake, higher antioxidant levels as a consequence of eating more fruits and vegetables.
Holly, we couldn't
Can you hear me?
Okay, Holly.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, so life expectancy. No, you kind of read through it really fast. You didn't actually pronounce all the syllables. Okay, but I think that you were just trying to go fast. So, are there any words in here that you do not know? So everything. So what is it? Found that people who rarely ate meat and sticking to such a diet added 3.6 years to a person's life. So remember that, 3.6 years. Okay. Tatiana, could you read number 4?
Yeah. Moderate to high levels of activity can extend life by between 1.3 and 3.7 years. Researchers at Erasmus University in the Netherlands say the main reason is the beneficial effect that physical activity has on the heart. People who take exercise are also less likely to be overweight and more to the quality of life.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. So this one is between 1.3 and 3.7 years to have an active lifestyle. Okay. Any words in here that you do not know? And one thing,
No.
this one is interesting. People who take exercise, in American English, we would never say that. We would actually say,
Yes, because do exercises, yes?
well, no, we would actually say people who exercise are also less likely to be overweight. So we would actually not have this word at all. So we would just say people who exercise.
It's British English.
Yeah, this one is British. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like to teach British English. That way I can go over both American English and British English. So I usually choose material that's British English. So number 5, Ismail.
Highly educated women can expect to live more than 5 years longer than less educated women, while men with a university degree have an extra 7.8 years, according to a Harvard University study. One explanation is the adoption of healthier lifestyles, and one of the biggest differences was in heart disease rates.
Okay, and keep in mind, remember, you actually corrected your pronunciation from the first time. You didn't read the first women correctly, but the second women you did. So that was what I call a mistake or a slip of the tongue. So remember, it's woman and women. Women.
Women.
Okay. Women, yeah. Do you guys have any words here that you do not know? Okay, let's go to the next. And okay, can you read this?
Okay. Research at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden shows that the golfers live 5 years longer. The study shows a 40% reduced risk of premature end. The health benefits of exercise and companionship may be the reason.
Okay, so golfers live 5 years longer. So you can add 5 years just if you learn to play golf and go golfing. So, okay, number 7. Tatiana.
Losing weight can add as much as 7 years to a person's life. A team at Oxford University showed that people who are obese at the age of 40 died on average 7 years earlier.
Okay, any words here?
Obese.
Obese is very fat. There's overweight where you're basically, you just have more fat than you should have, and then there's obese, which is fat, very fat. So, okay, Ismail, can you read number?
Not smoking adds up to 10 years to life. A team at the University of Helsinki found that those who had never smoked lived an average 10 years longer than those who smoked more than 20 a day. Research on men in New Zealand showed that 50% of smokers die prematurely, and that they die 14 years earlier than non-smokers. Heart disease and cancer are among the biggest killers. The good news for smokers is that it is never too late to give up. According to the US National Institute on Drug Abuse, a 35-year-old man who quit smoking will increase his life expectancy by 5.1 years on average.
Thank you. Are there any words or phrases in here that you guys do not know? And your guys' pronunciation is going very well.
Everything is clear.
Okay, excellent. Number 9, Ake.
According to a Chicago University report, married men live, on average, 10 years longer than non-married men, while married women live about 4 years longer than non-married women. One theory is that married men adopt less risky and more healthy lifestyles as a result of the commitment that marriage brings. Married women may live longer due to improved financial well-being. However, a Swiss study found that being married shortens a woman's life by 1.4 years, possibly because of the stress of living with a man.
Huh, okay, so I'll live 1.4 years longer than my sister. She's married and I'm not. But no, I'm thinking that married men, well, they adopt less risky, but also more healthy lifestyles because their women won't let them be boys anymore. Would you agree, Ismail?
Yes, Holly, actually, for example, when I was not married, I usually ate out, and you couldn't find healthy food out actually. Many restaurant was used more salt and more grease, fatty
foods, yeah.
Fatty food. And if I eat at home, we generally eat vegetables, fruits, and healthy meal because my wife prepare cautiously the food, and actually living in a family change your mood.
Oh, and what do you mean change your mood? What do you mean by that?
Holly, if I was not married, I went to bars and drink and sleep late, and I live a life very risky, and I actually don't think too much. But if I have a son, I have a son now, and I sleep not so late. I eat homemade healthy food, and I actually I am a member of this family. They are thinking me. I think them. It is good to know somebody care about you and
Uh-huh.
you care about them.
Yeah, so it's more of a we mentality. A we mentality instead of a me mentality.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, I think that is very true. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, could you read number 10?
Okay, wealthy people live longer than the poor. One of the clearest contrasts was found by Baltimore health officials in the U.S. In the poor neighborhoods, the average life expectancy was 63 years, against 83 in wealthy suburbs.
Okay, thank you. Any words here? And do you guys agree with this?
No, I don't agree. Because some wealthy people live less because of the stress. They all the time think about their money, and when crisis in country, it may be bad for them.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could say, the difference between the wealthy and the poor, in some countries, if you're wealthy, you can get health care quicker and better. You can get better health care, but I think the wealthy get sick just as much as the poor. What do you think? Okay, what do you think?
Molly,
Can
actually,
I?
Oh, Ismail,
Sorry,
or whoever wants to
I
talk.
have a question.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay, to undermine health, could I use this phrase, undermine wealth, or maybe another kind of expression?
Well, you need to finish. Use the whole sentence with undermine to undermine the what?
Healthy,
Undermine healthy? No, I can't. I
or
would
health.
undermine health.
Undermine health. For example, if I lead the life full of stress and unhealthy food, I may undermine health, or what?
Okay, that one you would say you can use it, but usually when you use undermine, it has more to do with you might undermine your doctor. Um, um, he did not listen to his doctor about a healthy lifestyle for his son, and the doctor was undermined. Okay, so usually that's how you would use it. Somebody was undermined, or he undermined the doctor because he didn't listen to him about a healthy lifestyle. So that's usually how it would be. So good question.
Okay.
Okay, Ismail, were you going to say something?
I understand from the 10th paragraph, Holly, it depends on the area. For example, there are some countries on our planet, people actually living in poverty. They don't arrive uh, clean water. Even they don't have sanitary toilets, and many disease. They are living under many diseases. They are living under many epidemics, and they don't arrive high standard health services because of the poverty of their country.
Yeah.
And they actually their life expectancy expectancy are shortening in that time. But
Yes, yeah, and I totally agree with you, because in that situation, a wealthy person who lives in a country like that can get health care and get better health care.
yes,
So, but if you're living in like most of the European countries
in
where
developed
everybody
country,
has free health care, so
yeah, yes, and the situation change in this time.
yeah, where in the US, there's still a discrepancy between the wealthy and the poor in the area of health care. They're trying to fix that, but a wealthy person would go to a hospital or go to a doctor much quicker than a poor person, because the poor person probably does not have insurance. So there might be that situation in the U.S. because we have we have a lot of poor people that just don't go to doctors. So.
What are they doing, Holly, if they haven't any health insurance?
Well, there's two things that happens if there's no health insurance. In fact, I quit my job 2 months ago, and so I didn't actually buy health insurance until last week, and haven't even paid for it yet. But so if I had gotten sick during that 6 or 8 weeks period that I did not have a health insurance, there's two things that I could do. I could go to a free clinic, but I would have to prove to them that I have no money, and which I couldn't have done. Or you just pay the full price. And many people, especially if you're part of what we call the working poor, these are people that work 60, 80 hours a week, but they still are not making enough to pay for insurance. When they go to the doctor and pay the full price, that might take their entire paycheck. So many times they just don't go to the doctor. Free clinics are nice, but that you have to show that you are not making any money. So
Doesn't the government pay for poor people their health insurance, Holly?
Well, there is something called Medicaid, and it depends on the state. For example, in Idaho, I know for let's go over. Bear with me a moment. In Idaho, in order to qualify for Medicaid, you have to be making less than $400 a month, and have children, or have children. So a lot of people who are working part-time or even full-time cannot afford it, because they do make more than $400 a month, but maybe their rent is a lot. So for Medicaid in the state of Idaho, it's very, very difficult to get unless you're pregnant. If you're a pregnant woman, you can, and you're not making any money or very little money, or your husband's not making much money, then you can get Medicaid. Children, they have something called CHIP. Oh, and this is like a children's health insurance program. And the working poor are able to get their children health care. So there's some families where they put their kids are on CHIP, but they have no insurance because they make more than the $400. So it is quite very difficult if you are working minimum wage. which is $7.50 an hour. It's very, very difficult to really make it at that wage. So, what's it like in Turkey? Does the government provide free health insurance or free health care?
Unfortunately, we have a same trend nowadays. Government boost the private health service. The situation is good now. Actually, if you don't, you cannot pay your health insurance. Government pay instead of you if you don't have enough money. But you cannot good service in. We have a public health service and private health service.
Okay. Yeah.
You can go to public hospital, but the service quality are decreasing with the time because there is a trend. The good doctors are cancelled to work in the public hospital because they don't earn too much money.
Enough money.
Enough money. The private sector give them more opportunity, more money, and they leave the public hospital and they work in the private hospital. But if you need a difficult operation, you have to go to private hospital and you have to pay huge amount of money actually.
Yeah, that's what you've described sounds very similar to how Finland is. You have the public and you also have the private, and the private you can get into quicker.
Yes.
You have to pay more. But the public in Finland, what happened with the doctors is the doctors would work both in the public health and the private, so they would usually divide their time between both. But
actually, for example, for simple illnesses, it is not so important. You can get service from a public hospital, but in serious operation, for example, for organ transplant or in difficult operation, you have to find a good doctor, and you cannot find in public hospital good doctors.
Okay. Now, Ake wants to say something.
Yes, because 2 times I lost the chance to talk.
Did you really?
You asked me, but interruption happened. Anyway, so yeah, what do you want to ask me? Or
yeah, well, I mean, what's the situation in Japan? Have you been listening to us?
Yeah,
I mean,
health insurance here. Yeah, about health insurance, it's not completely free, but how can I say, 30% for ordinary people and 10% for senior citizens under 70. And we can have a kind of universal service. We can go any hospital by using that health insurance.
Okay, so you pretty much have, unlike you have more exclusively public health insurance, where like in the States we have exclusively private, and then in Turkey they have both public and private.
Yes, so kind of we have to pay some amount of money, so it prevents too many people go to the hospital. The problem is people who didn't can afford. So in that case, I think if the people can get social welfare, they kind of healthcare service becomes free.
Okay. Because
but conservative government trying to change that system actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. While I'm staying in America, I was worried about kind of health insurance situation. So
Yeah.
that's why I support the Obamacare
Uh-huh.
happening in America now.
Well, I mean, that's actually the industry I worked in before I decided to go back to teaching online.
Mm-hmm.
I was a trainer, and I trained people how to work with consumers on the Affordable Care Act, and then I moved over to supervisor, and I worked with customer service agents who were helping the consumers sign up for Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. And I know the system quite well, and there's a lot of pros and cons to it. One of the biggest con for the Affordable Care Act is for example, a single person. In order for a single person to qualify to get insurance at a lower price, they have to be making between $18,000 and $40,000 a year. And in the state of Idaho, in order to qualify for Medicaid, you have to be making less than $400. So, if you make $12,000 a year, you do not qualify to get help on the Affordable Care Act.
I see.
And it's what we call it the Medicaid gap. And that's one problem with the Affordable Care Act in the U.S. And the other one that I've seen is a lot of the people, the people who sold the health insurance to the consumers, not my agents, but the ones that were out in the public, not the ones I worked with, they learned this rule, and so somebody had made $12,000 a year on average, and they told them to put, or they made $45,000 or $50,000 a year on average. They told them to put $18,000 or $20,000 so that they could get this huge tax break, which is fine. They got a really good insurance for this year, but next year when they do taxes, they are going to get charged for all of that.
It's not like a total health care.
No, it's what it is. It's a marketplace. Okay, so you apply for the Affordable Care Act. You apply for the Obamacare. They tell you, okay, if you buy this insurance, we will give you this discount, but you have to make sure that you're only making this amount of money in order to get that discount. So it's very complicated. And I'm actually happy to not be working in it. So a lot of us were saying we don't want to be there during next tax year because there's going to be a lot of consumers that think that they will get a tax refund from the U.S., but it will have gone straight to their health care. So it's a big problem. But anyway, thank you very much for your guys' participation in class. I love it when everybody wants to speak, and that's really great. And I hope I've went ahead and made some wrote some feedback for a lot of the different things on here. I hope some of you saw that, like for example, fruit. It's not fruits. I mean, no S to make plural. There's and then also there wasn't a lot of mistakes. We went through a few, but I hope you guys were able to learn some things and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
So
Bye-bye.
thank you. I'm heading to bed now for sure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Night. Bye.